So one thing that Raylan does every day, almost twice a day, almost every day, is that she shakes with her shaker vest. And that's something that she really enjoys. Like, it's something that she usually smiles at, usually even sometimes laughs a little bit during. And it's just one of those things that it's her medical care, because it helps her to loosen up the gunk that might be in her lungs or in her airway, and then we can suction it up, or she can cough it up. So it's certainly medically related, and yet it's just something that she enjoys. Like, for whatever reason, she likes the shaking. She likes the it's almost like a ride to her. Some kids will go on roller coasters and like the thrill of that kind of thing, but she just enjoys her shaker vest. And so, okay, so her shaker vest is something that she's been using for a long time. Probably, I want to say, since she was maybe 3 years old or so. And I think even before that, we were using like that little cup thing that you kind of use manually to um, give her palpitations. Is that the right word? Just kind of manually do the shaker vest thing. But that just, what it does is, because she doesn't swallow the best, she can very easily aspirate on whether her own saliva, or sometimes, like, if she were to cough something up and then not be able to swallow it back down, she might very easily aspirate on it. So she's had aspiration pneumonia before, because she gets stuff in her lungs, like, liquid moisture, saliva in her lungs. So she's had to go to the hospital before because of that kind of stuff. So her shaker vest really helps her to avoid going to the hospital, because it shakes up the mucus, shakes up the stuff that kind of, it's real thick and stays in her lungs. But that shaker vest shakes it all up. And then sometimes we'll have to use the cough assist to help her cough it up, or sometimes she'll just cough it up on her own, and we'll be able to suction it up and suction it out. And very easily, she'll have completely avoid going to the hospital because of these kinds of things. So it certainly has a medical benefit, and it's a huge plus that she just likes it for whatever reason. It leaves her in a good mood. She'll smile during it. Sometimes we dislike doing the things that we know that we have to do just because we have to do them. And yet we really can make it an enjoyable experience, or at least see it as enjoyable experience, knowing that these things are good for us. Like, for Raylan, I don't think she has a concept of, this is for my medical care, or this is good for me, like in a medical sense or a health sense. She just enjoys it. And maybe sometimes we can, like, trick our brains into just enjoying the things that are good for us. Like, instead of seeing vitamins as something that we just have to take, if you have to take vitamins or medication or whatever like that, maybe look at it as an enjoyable experience. Maybe you don't like the taste of it, but maybe you could look at it as like a challenge, like, how fast could I take my meds in the morning, or or if one of them does taste good, see it as a treat, see it as something sweet. I know, just from sometimes, not intentionally, but whether I got her meds on my fingers or whatever reason, and I didn't wash my hands right away, and sometimes it just if you touch your face and you lick your lips or whatever it is, I've accidentally tasted some of her meds sometimes, and I've noticed that some of her meds actually do taste a little bit sweet. Like her Gamifying has a little sweetness to it. I think that's because they intentionally sweeten it, because it's in liquid form, and some people take it by mouth, and therefore they want it to not be unpleasant, right? So they sweeten it with something, some kind of syrup or something like that. But I've noticed that sometimes, and I don't know if any of your meds are sweet, or taste like candy or whatever. And if that's the case, maybe you can literally say to yourself, hey, I'm not taking my meds, I'm taking a treat. I'm taking some candy, I'm taking some sweets. And certainly that doesn't always take all of the sting out of taking your medication, if some of them do taste bad, but maybe we can take some of the things that we do and treat them like a game, right? Treat them like something that we can look forward to. I know there's certain apps that I used to use for to-do lists, in which you could actually gamify your to-do list for the day. And there was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a game. It was an app that you can put your to-do list in. And then if you accomplish whatever you wanted to accomplish that day, it would give you points. And then you could even play against your family members, or team up with your family members to accomplish things in the game, like beating a dragon, or getting so many experience points so that you can get armor and these kinds of things. I wish I remember the name of the app, because it was kind of fun to play. We played it for a little while, and we would level up or whatever via just our normal to-do stuff. And I liked also that it really didn't take a whole lot of time to play the game. Like you could win some stuff and you can like equip yourself with a new skin or whatever it was, but it wasn't a time-wasting thing. The main goal was to get you doing the things that you needed to do, like that you could check off your to-do list, and then it was just a small little perk that you could have in order to have the motivation to do the things that you knew that you needed to do. So it was just a fun little thing. So things like that, like gamifying your things that you don't want to do necessarily, right? I think gamifying things that are good for you, right? Some people, instead of having a to-do list, in order to gamify it, they'll have a to-done list. So instead of making a list of all the things that you have to do for the day, you turn it into a game by saying, well, rewarding yourself with all the little things that you have done, like that day. And you can put whatever you want on that list, like got out of bed in the morning, check it off the list. I've done it. And so you write it down and scratch it off right away, right? Or brush my teeth in the morning, done it, scratch it off right away. And then all of the other things on your to-do list just become another thing that you can mark off the list. It's not like you have to see it as this big, scary, hard goal. It's just another thing that you can cross off the list of your to-done list, right? So you're kind of like gamifying everything, and the hard things just become another part of that. And rather than seeing them as, I just have to get this thing done today, it's more of like here's my life, and I can do this along with all the other things that I do, right? So that's another way that you could kind of gamify things. Some people use sticker books. Some people use, I used to use an app on, I guess it was a website online called Joe's Goals, and it would look kind of just cartoony. You could give you a quick little check mark for your to-do list. Whatever it is, instead of seeing your goals as being difficult, sometimes we can even take the difficult things that we do and say, how can I make a game out of this and make it more enjoyable? All that to say, Raylan likes her shaker vest. It's good for her, but it's also enjoyable. It leaves a smile on her face. It just reminded me that no matter what things we have to do, we don't have to see them as being difficult. We don't have to see them as being, negative or things that we don't want to do, but we really can think of them, reframe those things in our brain to make them an enjoyable experience. It's interesting to me too also that, like, the things that we're oftentimes in awe of other people doing, like whether they're really good at sports or whether they're really good at business and these kinds of things, sometimes we elevate people's abilities in our heads and think to ourselves, oh, that person is so awesome because they can do that thing, that whatever that thing is, that such and such thing, right? But what we really need to remember is that we're all human beings. So whatever we're in awe of other people doing, those people might be in awe of us doing different things, right? I think everyone has a superpower of some kind, not to elevate, like we have to see ourselves as being better than other people, but just think about what it is that you're good at and, or what it is that you enjoy, and seek to be a blessing to others using that thing. Even if it's difficult to do, sometimes you can bless others just by showing other people that you can do that thing that they might find as difficult. Hey, I don't have this all figured out, but I just hope that you have hope and joy no matter what you're going through. God bless you, and we'll see you again next time.